Welcome back, students. So we will discuss our new chapter, that is some natural phenomena. You might have observed lightning in the sky during a storm. You would have also seen sparks in an electric gas lighter used to light LPG at home. Have you seen similar sparks in a loose electric plug? So, all these sparks have similar nature. They arises due to the flow of electric current through air. However, you have studied that air is an insulator and electric current will not pass through it. So, how does this lightning and this sparks occur? So, we will first learn about the nature of the electric charge. So, electric charge, so an activity is given for you, that is rub a plastic comb in your hair several times. Both comb and your hair should be dry. Now hold the comb above small pieces of paper. So that activity you have to do, you have to rub a comb or a plastic scale on your dry hair. Okay. Then after rubbing it, you have to bring that plastic scale or your comb to small pieces of paper. You can see that this paper is attracted towards the comb or the plastic scale. So, when you bring that rubbed comb or plastic scale above small pieces of paper, that paper will attracted towards the comb or towards the plastic scale. Then one more activity is there, that is inflate a balloon, rub it against your dry hair. Inflate a balloon and rub it against your dry hair. Now gently place it against a wall. You can see that the balloon will stick to the wall. Now rub another balloon in a similar way. Hang both the balloons close to each other. Now you can see that these two balloons will push away from each other. Okay. Now you can see that these two balloons will push away from each other. So we will say that the comb or the plastic balloon is said to be electrically charged when they are rubbed against your hair. When you rub the plastic scale or the comb or the balloon against the hair, they will get charged. The balloon, plastic comb or the plastic scale will get charged. That is, they get electrically charged. They acquire electric charge. These electric charges generated by rubbing are static and they do not move. So, these balloon, plastic comb and the plastic scales are charged by rubbing. So, they have charges in them. That charges are known as static charges and that charges will not move. These electric charges produce in them a kind of force which can attract as well as repel object. So, these electric charges produce a force in this object so that they can attract or repel other objects. So, that force is known as electrostatic force. electrostatic force. So, electrostatics is there. It's a branch of physics which deals with stationary charges. Means the charges are not moving. Okay, which deals with static charges. That branch is known as electrostatics. Okay. Then, two types of charges are there, that is positive charges and negative charges. Positive and negative charges. Benjamin Franklin, a scientist of the 18th century, gave specific name to these charges. The charges on the glass rod named as positive charge and the charge on the ebonite rod is called negative charge. Means you have to rub an ebonite rod with wool and hang it with a thread. Rub another ebonite rod in the same way and bring it near the suspended rod. You can see that the two ebonite rod will repel each other. In the same way, just take two balloons, rub it on your dry hair. So, the balloon will be charged, and now bring the two balloons very close to each other. You can see that the balloon will be pushed away. That is, the balloon will repel away. The balloon will repel away. Now, so we can conclude that like charges will repel. Like charges will repel and unlike charges will attract. We can conclude that like charges will repel and unlike charges will attract. So, an activity is there given in your textbook, that is activity 15.3. Inflate two balloons, hang them in such a way that they do not touch each other. Rub both the balloons with a woolen cloth and release them. Okay, and release them. You can see that the balloons will move away. That means both the balloons will have same kind of charges. Both the balloons will have same kind of charges. Now, let us repeat this activity with a used pen refill. Rub one pen refill with polythene and place it carefully in a glass tumbler using tumbler as the stand. Rub the other refill with also with the polythene. Bring it close to the charged refill. Be careful not to touch the charged end of your charged end with your hand. Is there any effect on the refill in the tumbler? Does it attract or repel each other? So, when you brought charged object close to each other that are made of same materials, so if they have like charges on them, they will repel each other. If they have like charges on them, if you bring two balloons or if you bring two refills rubbed with same cloth, when you bring it together, we can see that there will be a force of repulsion between them. That means like charges will repel each other and unlike charges will attract. Unlike charges will attract. Now, a charged balloon repel a charged balloon. A charged refill repel a charged refill. Now, one more activity is there. So, we already charged a refill and we already charged a balloon. Now, we are bringing these two items together, a charged refill and a charged balloon. When you bring it together, you can see that these two will attract. Charged refill will attract the charged balloon. So, there will be a force of attraction between the refill and the balloon. That means in balloon and in refill they will have opposite charges. So, opposite charges or unlike charges will attract. Unlike charges will attract. Okay. So, electric charges generated by rubbing are static. They do not move by themselves. When charges move, they constitute electric current. The same current that is flowing from a bulb through a bulb to light up the bulb, that is flow of electrons or flow of charges. So, here the charges that we produced or generated by rubbing are stationary. They will not move. They will not move by themselves. Okay, they will not move by themselves. So, when you rub a glass rod with a silk, it acquires a positive charge. At the same time, the silk acquires equal negative charge. Similarly, when ebonite is rubbed with wool, the ebonite gets negative charge, whereas the wool gets equal positive charge. So, when two objects are rubbed against each other, they acquire equal and opposite charge. When two objects are rubbed against each other, one object will get negative charge and other object will get positive charge, but the amount of charge will be equal. Suppose this one will get 5 positive charges, this one also will get 5 negative charges. That means when two objects are charged by rubbing against each other, they acquire equal and opposite charges. All these particles share a common property that they carry electric charge. Electrons have negative charge and protons have positive charge. An object is called electrically neutral if the number of protons, that is the number of positive charge and the number of negative charges are same. Number of positive charge and number of negative charges are same. Then we will say an object is electrically neutral. An object can be charged if there is an imbalance of electrons or protons present in. So, an object can be charged means that balance of the electrons and the protons are disturbed. Means when you by rubbing you will get equal amount of positive charge and equal amount of negative charge. When two objects are charged by rubbing against each other, they will get equal and opposite charges. Okay. So, charging by rubbing. When you rub two objects with each other, they get charged due to the transfer of electrons between them. When you rub two objects, suppose this one is object A and this one is object B. Electron will transfer from A to B. Electrons will transfer from A to B. So, B will have more number of electrons and A will have less number of electrons. For example, if you rub a rubber balloon with an animal fur, the balloon is made of rubber that attracts electrons from the animal fur. This results in rubber having excess electrons while fur have a shortage of electrons. Okay. So, when you rub two objects, from one object the electron will flow to the other object. So, here rubber balloon is rubbed with animal fur. So, electron from animal fur will move to rubber. So, rubber will have an excess electron, means number of electrons on rubber will be more and a shortage of electrons will be there in animal fur. So, that balance between the positive and the negative charges or the balance between the electrons and protons are not there. In the same way, if you rub a plastic comb with dry hair, the comb acquires some charges. Types of charges and their interaction. We know that charged objects may have shortage or excess of electrons. Sometimes one object will have more number of electrons. At the same time, the other object will have less number of electrons. Objects have excess electrons are negatively charged objects. Objects which have an excess number of electron, that is negatively charged, while the objects which have less number of electrons, that is a shortage of electron, is called positively charged object. So, when glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, it becomes positively charged. Positively charged, and silk cloth become negatively charged. These charged objects are now capable of attracting charged and uncharged objects. So, three laws are there in electrostatics. Like charges will repel, unlike charges will attract. Third one, charged objects attract uncharged or neutral objects. Charged objects attract uncharged or neutral objects. Objects having same kind of charge repel each other. Objects with different kinds of charge attract each other. Two types of charges are there, positive charges and negative charges. So, two positive and two negative charges, like charges will repel. Negative and positive charges, so they will attract. Opposite charges or unlike charges will attract. So, electrostatic force, that is the force of attraction or repulsion experienced by charged objects. That is the force of attraction or repulsion experienced by charged objects. Static charge or static electricity is an electric charge which does not move. Static charges are a result when two objects are rubbed with each other. When two surfaces are in contact with each other repeatedly, that results in the transfer of electron from one material to another. So, when two objects are rubbed against each other, electron will transfer from one object to another, and these electrons are not moving. The strength of the electric charge depends upon the temperature and humidity, properties of the surface such as its material. Okay, so the strength of this electric charge depends upon two factors, that is the temperature and the humidity. Second one, property of the surface. Then transfer of charges. Charges can be transferred from one object to another with the help of friction, conduction and induction. With the help of conduction, induction and friction. So, first one, charging by friction, that is by rubbing. So, when you rub glass rod with silk cloth, what will happen is that here glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, glass rod become positively charged and silk cloth become negatively charged. So, glass rod becomes positively charged and silk cloth become negatively charged. So, there will be a force of attraction between these two. You know that when two objects are rubbed against each other, they acquire equal and opposite charges. means the number of positive charges and the number of negative charges will be same. Here you can see 5 positive charges are there on glass rod and 5 negative charges are there on silk cloth. When you rub a glass rod with silk cloth, the glass rod acquire positive charge while the silk cloth acquire negative charge. When two objects are rubbed together, there is a friction between them. Therefore, a body can be charged by friction. This method of charging a body is called charging by friction. So, we can charge an object by rubbing against each other. That is known as charging by friction. So, when two objects are charging by rubbing, they will acquire equal and opposite charges. Then, second method is charging by conduction. Charging by conduction. An object can be charged by touching it to a charged object. An object can be charged by touching it to a charged object. This happens because some charges from the charged object get transferred to the uncharged object. This is known as charging by induction. In this case, the body being charged acquire the same charge as that of the charged object. So, here this one is electrically neutral. So, when you bring a negatively charged rod to this object, you can see that the electrons are transferred from this rod to this balloon. Okay. So, this will have same kind of charges. We can induce same kind of charges on an uncharged object with the help of charging by conduction. Okay. In this case, the object being charged acquire the same charge as that of the charged object. Here this rod is the charged object. It is having negatively charged. So, this balloon will be charged negatively. That is the same charge as that of the charged object. Third one is charging by induction. Charging by induction. A body can also be charged by bringing a charged object near to it, not by touching it. This is called charging by induction. In this case, the object being charged acquire an opposite charge as that of the body of the charged it. So, here this one is a neutral object. Neutral objects means it have equal amount of positive and negative charges. So, if you bring a negatively charged rod, so that will separate the positive and negative charges in that sphere. So, that positive charges will be attracted towards the negatively charged rod. So, this negatively charged rod will not touch the sphere. Okay. So, this rod is negatively charged and we are bringing it very close to a neutral sphere. Neutral sphere means it is having both positive and negative charges. The number of positive and negative charges will be same. Okay. Number of positive and negative charges will be same. So, it is a neutral object. So, sphere is a neutral object. When you bring a negatively charged rod, we should not touch the rod with the sphere. Okay. We should not touch it. Just bring it very close to the sphere. You can see that the charges will get separated and the positive charge is attracted towards the negatively charged rod. And this negative charge can be given to the earth with the help of a wire. When you connect a wire to the earth, when you connect this sphere with the help of a wire and you connect it to the ground, so that the negatively charged electrons can flow to the ground. through the earth wire. So, now when you remove this, when this negatively charged rod is removed, so only positively charged, the sphere is positively charged. Okay. So, when you bring a negatively charged rod to a sphere which is at neutral, neutral means it contains both negative and positive charges, but the number of charges are same. Then we can remove this negative charge from the sphere by connecting it to a earth. Okay, by connecting it to the earth, we can remove the negative charges from the sphere. Now we move that negatively charged rod away from the sphere. So you can see that the sphere is now charged positively. You can see that the sphere is charged positively. So this type of charging is known as charging by induction. So by induction, we can induce or we can charge an object with opposite charges. If you are bringing negative charges, then on that object we can induce or we can acquire positive charges. Okay. So the object being charged acquire an opposite charge to that of the body charging it. Then electric charges in atoms. When you rub two objects together, where do electric charges come from? Electric charges are present inside the atoms. Every atom contains particles with both positive and negative electric charges. Under normal circumstances or under normal conditions, the number of positive charges and the number of negative charges will be equal. Negative charges are known as electrons and positive charges are known as protons. So the charges neutralize each other, or we will say the atom is as a whole electrically neutral. The positively charged particles are firmly bound in the atom, where the negatively charged particles are very loosely bound. It is possible to remove some negatively charged particles by the process such as rubbing. So, the positively charged particles are very bounded to the nucleus, but the negatively charged particles are loosely bounded. Okay. So, we can easily remove the negatively charged particles from an object, and we will say that object is charged. When you rub when a glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, some negatively charged particles move from the glass rod to the silk cloth. Some negatively charged particles will move from the glass rod to silk cloth. That is, negatively charged particles will move from the glass rod to the silk cloth. This results in the glass rod is left an excess of positive charges, while the glass rod acquires an electron and will become an negatively charged particles. That's why the glass rod becomes positively charged and the silk cloth becomes negatively charged. Then, testing for charges. We have seen that charged object attract another object with an opposite charge. A charged object can also attract an uncharged object. So, charged object attracts uncharged object and also oppositely charged objects. Positive and negative will attract. Okay, means they have oppositely charged objects or oppositely charged particles. The same thing, force of attraction will be there between a charged object and a neutral object. Means when you rub the plastic scale on your hair, you are charging the plastic scale. So, plastic scale is a charged object, but the paper, small pieces of paper are uncharged object. So, a charged object can attract uncharged object and oppositely charged objects also. For example, a charged comb attracts the pieces of paper which are not charged. Therefore, attraction by charged objects does not indicate whether the object is also charged or not. So, we can't test for charge by attraction, or we cannot test whether an object is charged or uncharged by an attraction test, because that the object will attract uncharged object and oppositely charged objects. So, however, if an object being tested is repelled by uncharged object, you are certain that it is charged. It has some charges on the charged body. Therefore, to test if an object is charged or not, bring it a positively charged and negatively charged object one by one. If there is attraction by both, it has no charges. Repelled by positively charged object, it has positively charged. Repelled by negatively charged, that is, it is also negatively charged. Thus, repulsion is a sure test whether an object is charged or not. Repulsion is a sure test whether an object is charged or not. So, how will you test it? If you test a charged or if you want to test whether an object is charged or not, bring it near a positively charged body object and a negatively charged object. If they attract, then it has no charge. It is repelled by positive charge, means that object is having positively charged. If it is repelled by negative charge, it is also negatively charged. So, repulsion is a sure test for whether an object is charged or not. So, charging, that is electrostatics, is a branch of physics which deals with stationary charges, means the charges are not moving. We can charge an object by three ways: rubbing, conduction, induction. In rubbing or by friction, we can acquire equal and opposite charges. Equal and opposite charges. By conduction, we can induce the same kind of charge on another object. In induction, we can induce oppositely charged object, or if you are bringing negatively rod, then the sphere will be positively charged. Okay, that's about charging by induction. Thank you.